Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jay Hollingshed, your personal high performance mindset coach and public speaker, coming to you again with another episode of my 7 pillars of mental performance in 365 days. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, I truly appreciate you, and I can't help but say it all the time. I appreciate you. Now, today is consecutive episode 349 of 365. And this evening, today is Saturday. Day 7 of the week, we will be discussing pillar number 7, which is positive and negative self-talk. Tonight's brief talk will be on the negative suggestion of procrastination. The negative suggestion of procrastination. Keep in mind that negative suggestion is your psyche talking to you, that self-talk. So, without further delay, let's get right into our roll call for this evening. Starting off for those that are on time for class at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My wife, Lisa Hollingshed, my daughter, Jaleesa Hollingshed, my big brother, AJ, my aunt, Gina. Everybody's tuning in. My family's tuning in from Memphis. I appreciate you all. My family here in Columbus. So those of you that are watching on repeat, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you as well. Protocol and roll call has been established, the whole nine. Now let's jump right into the lesson of your negative suggestion of procrastination. Now, we all know what our negative self-talk is. We all know that it exists. Now, the mentally negative comments, the demeaning directives, the belittling phrases that are used to bring down our self-esteem or lower our self-esteem. All these things are coming from our psyche. It is the negative side of self-talk. There's positive and negative, but we're talking about the negative today. So the negative side of our self-talk is what's pushing and driving everything to lower our self-esteem, to get us off task, to get us to doing everything but what we are supposed to do, even including the ever so popular procrastination. Our self-talk is really good at that, telling us to do it later. You have enough time. Do it later. Don't worry about it. Well, the thing is, if we hear enough of the repetitive negative suggestions, we will amass enough energy to move in the direction of the negative suggestion, which means our bodies follow our mind. Suggestions are coming from our mind, and so we keep hearing it over and over and over and over until we act on it. It's kind of like that phrase, you tell a lie so much that you start to believe it because you've heard it so much and it starts to be true to you in your mind. Well, the same thing here. It works like affirmations. You say it over and over and over and over again until it becomes a part of you and you act on that. You're acting yourself. You're acting out yourself because the self-talk, negative or positive, has become part of you. Now, the body will follow the mind. In this case, it is following the mind down the negative path. Now, in this segment, pillar number 7, or positive and negative self-talk, I'm going to touch on the most commonly surrendered to self-talk, which is procrastination. Now, to succumb to or submit to the negative suggestions of procrastination, it's no different from surrendering to a digressive cycle of life. Here's what happens. Your psyche says, oh, don't worry about it. We're good. Don't worry about it right now. You got enough time. There's plenty of time to do it later. And just like that, as soon as you say there's plenty of time to do it later, you hear it and you accept it. And the minute you accept it, you switch your progressive mindset your motives and your intentions from being successful in the present moment to being unsuccessful and unsuccessful and focused on the future, or fantasizing about the future, a future tense, talking about do it later. You see yourself doing it later, and you're not doing the work now that you should be doing. So you stop altogether, you fantasize about the future, and before you know it, this becomes that repetitive cycle I was talking about. This becomes that repetitive cycle over and over and over again until before long, 5 or 6 years has gone by. And you could have finished a college degree by then. How many of that has happened? How many of you that has happened to where you look up and like, oh man, a whole year has gone by. Several months have gone by. Wow, if I had started this 10 years ago, I'd be done by now. That's happened to all of us, including myself. So when we actually get that reality check, there's a reality check that comes with that, because we like to start our goals and we tell other people about them, and other people want to start goals with us because it's kind of like that contagious energy. You know, let's go, let's get up and go, let's do this together, or let's do this. Accountability partners. Well, somehow the accountability falls off and one partner completes their task and you sit back and you don't complete yours. That's the reality check. When they are on their completion, they are in their celebratory efforts, they're celebrating their goals and their success. You, on the other hand, are sitting there wishing, saying shoulda, coulda, woulda, all because you submitted to the negative suggestion of procrastination from your psyche, from your self-talk. So how do I suggest, as a high-performance mindset coach, how do I suggest we get over this negative self-talk or this procrastination from the negative self-talk? I did some research, and the founder of Instagram, his name is Kevin Systrom. Kevin Systrom, there we go. Kevin Systrom, he does this. He makes an agreement with himself. He makes a deal with himself, and he says, I'll do at least the first 5 minutes of it, and then I'll leave it alone. But we all know, and even Kevin knows, that's why he says this. He agrees to do the first 5 minutes of it. Once he hears that negative suggestion to, hey, do it later, don't worry about it, he tells himself, let's just get through the first 5 minutes of it. Once he starts the process, he goes ahead and finishes it out. He finishes the process. So in that case, the secret to doing that is just getting started. That's all that is. That secret is just getting started. Once you get started, then you keep going and going and going. That motivation is going. The key is just to get started. That's all it is. Getting started. Once you get started, and that's what the founder of Instagram figured out. Once you get started, it's no problem. You get to rolling and you're rolling on. And knowing that secret, it's just like the mind telling the body, or the mind giving the body a boost off. Hey, I'll just do this for 5 minutes. But hey, once you boost off a car, once that car is crunked up and it's rolling, and you throw it in drive and you go, the same thing happens for you. All you do is you're giving your mind is giving your body a boost off. I'll do the first 5 minutes. Once you get into the first 5 minutes of it and you're running, you're up and running, man, release the brake, hit the gas, throw your mindset in drive, and drive as far as you can away from your suggestion of procrastination and negative self-talk. Drive away from that psyche suggestion. The negative self-talk, it's going to keep you up. It's going to hold you up and keep you behind. So that's all that I have for today in episode 349 of 365. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. This is Jay Hollingshed, your personal high-performance mindset coach and public speaker. Be well, stay blessed, and through love, be a blessing. God bless.